Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. You are watching the 12 noon show. I'm Vaibhav Tripathi, your host, and joining me is Bharat Ramraj and Shamik Chakraborty. Shubhayan Chakraborty will also join us soon. And the topic of our discussion for this particular show is, can GT bounce back? Obviously, we'll start with the GT part. Gujarat Titans, after their humiliating loss to RCB last night in the qualifier ones in Dharamshala, after that loss, after that heavy defeat, how Gujarat Titans will bounce back in the qualifier too is a question that we are asking. And the other part of the show will obviously be the focus on tonight's match that will be played between the Sunrisers Hyderabad and the Rajasthan Royals. We'll discuss both, but obviously we'll start with the first part. Shamik, obviously you were there. You were there in the post match. You saw the entire match. You saw there were a lot of mishaps that happened in the field. Shubman Gill highlighted those in the post match presentation as well. He started that there were a lot of drop catches, fielding lapses. Three catches in total were dropped, and one run out opportunity was missed. The last game they played before that at Eden Gardens, they dropped four catches. So this has become a sort of recurring theme. Fielding lapses by Gujarat Titans, and then the vulnerability that is there in the middle order. Is it something that is hurting Gujarat Titans because they are top heavy since last season, and these kind of things in knockout games can lead to trouble?
Well, they have been top heavy since since they have been playing the IPL. So the fact of the matter is that yes, when Hardik Pandya was their captain, that middle order balance was there. Hardik Pandya is a world class
Even
operator.
David Miller was there.
David Miller was there, and Hardik Pandya is the one. But now, over the last couple of seasons, last three seasons, they have been top heavy. But that has sort of worked for Gujarat Titans. Now, just based on one bad game, it was they had a. I mean, you can say Shubman Gill as a captain, as a batsman, everything. He had a bad day at the office. Gujarat Titans were not on top of their game. But I mean, if we start from right from the beginning, I think they were a little too perturbed about the due factor. That's why they decided to field first, number one, because in any knockout game, it is always safe to bat first and put runs on the board. Kulwant Kejrolia playing Kulwant Kejrolia, it beggars belief. I mean, from where did he come? I mean, it was. I mean, it defied logic. Kulwant Kejrolia, um, uh, that is also a blunder. Drop catches, everything. But this is water under the bridge now, and I don't think Gujarat Titans would be carrying the excess baggage of yesterday's defeat to qualify too, because it is as I maintain that T20 cricket is raat gai baat gai stuff. You don't carry forward whatever has happened. It's a new game, and on the night, if you play better than your opponents, you will win the game. So I think they need to look at their squad composition, team selection. Two changes. They should make two changes going into qualifier two. One is Kulwant Kejrolia should give away to another left arm spinner. I just cannot recall
Arshad
it.
Khan.
Arshad Khan and Sai Kishore should come in for Prashit Krishna. These two changes they should make. That is my as far as my opinion is concerned.
Bharat, Shamik talked about the changes, but the blunder started from the toss itself. Obviously, GT have been doing really well in the second innings, chasing the total, and they rely heavily on their top order, as we have spoken as well, because they know how to pace their innings when they have a total in. But you have to keep in mind that just a match before the RCB, that last game that they played against Sunrisers Hyderabad, they couldn't chase the total. RCB lost while chasing. Virat Kohli got out, and then there was a lot of pressure. Obviously, Rajat Patidar didn't play that game, and that made a difference. But given that your bowling is your biggest strength, was it a blunder? Not to defend the total, because obviously Dew, I don't think, played a huge part in that game, and obviously your bowling has been doing well. So batting first would have been an ideal option. We have been discussing this since last night. What was your take about the toss last night?
Is the question to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't hear my name. Anyway, I think I would say I would put the blame more on the bowlers, because I think there's a little bit of nip, little bit of bounce in that track. That is something that I think RCB used it better than Gujarat Titans. See, I go back to the same point in Dharamsala. You have that high altitude, the ball will just fly out there. Just hold the shape on a shot, it will fly, and the dimensions are quite small. So you might get a little bit of help in terms of bounce and nip, but if you miss your lines by a little bit, then it could be 250. That is where I think RCB were more disciplined than Gujarat Titans' space attack. But I genuinely believe there's a little bit of nip up front and some bounce as well, which I think Rabada kind of showed it in his first over. But after that, they kind of lost their plot in terms of the lines that they bowled. I think that is where it went against Gujarat Titans, and those two drop catches of Prasidh Krishna, Rajat Patidar being dropped twice in 1 over basically took the game away from their grasp. I thought their fielding was poor, very modest, a lot of misfields, those drop catches. I think these were the two reasons why they ended up losing. Yes, you can, in hindsight, you can say that they should have looked to defend the target and all that. But I think the biggest problem with Gujarat Titans yesterday was their bowling. Not that they bowled badly in terms of their skills, but they bowled badly in terms of their lines, especially considering those two factors that I mentioned and the fielding. Fielding was abysmal, though they are one of the better fielding sides in this tournament. But yesterday, those drop catches, those misfields, where I think it was quite poor. You might even say atrocious fielding. So I think these were the two key reasons why Gujarat Titans went down. Because considering that there is a little bit of nip up front, some bounce, they could have easily taken a couple of wickets or 2-3 wickets in those first 6-8 overs, which is what RCB did. But Gujarat Titans couldn't get their lines right, and that is why I think they ended up losing very badly.
Shivan, Shamik talked about Kulwan Khejurolia's selection, but if you look at Arshad Khan's last few games, he has been wicketless and conceding runs at more than 10 runs per over. So economy was an issue, not taking wickets. But Arshad Khan, bowling all rounder, there is a problem with the batting. That's why they were playing him. But last game, an important game, and important game, playoffs game, and you are bringing a player who was not even part of your first squad. He was brought in and as a replacement player, and to play him ahead of a Gurnur Brad, it is a similar sort of thing that KKR did. Playing a Navdeep Saini ahead of an Umran Malik whom you picked in the auction. What do you make of that decision, playing a Kulwant Khejroli, and then again he bowled as a sixth bowling option, only 2 overs. Again, a blunder from Gujarat Titans team management. We have been talking about how good Ashish Nehra has been, Shubman Gill has been, but was it a blunder to play Kulwant Khejroli in that game, playing his first game, that to a main playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is a easy thing to analyze things. It comes as a wrong call after all the assessment what we saw yesterday, and he played, I think, only one game before this in the season, if I'm not wrong, or didn't even play a match in this tournament so far. So they could have gone to any player they would have wanted. Ishant Sharma is there, Gurnur Brar is there. There are a lot of options that they could have gone to, but Sai Kishore is there. But they went to Kulwant Kejroli and they had to, suffer for it. But again, you can't blame just one player for the defeat. Fielding was really poor, batting was really poor. So it was an overall team effort in losing that game by such a big margin. And just to blame Kulwant Kejroli and you know make him pinpoint him as the culprit of the game is not right. But I think it was an overall team effort where things did not go in Gujarat Titans' favor. It was just a bad day on the field, we can say.
Bhairav, I'm just
Yeah.
interrupting because Shubhan has raised a very interesting point. Shubhan, Gurnur Brad that you have mentioned, he hasn't played any cricket since January, right? He hasn't played any cricket. He is in India's test team against Afghanistan at the expense of Akib Nabi, and I can confirm that team management wanted him to be part of the test squad. So from that point of view, what exactly is his status? I mean, you cannot even play him in the IPL qualifier, sort of not a knockout game because they will have a second bite at the cherry. But what exactly is status? I mean, he sort of has gone AWOL, but he is in the test team. So there is a paradox. So I'm a little confused.
Very true. Plus, they have so many options. They have an Ishant Sharma who was, I think, when he played last season, he was really good for Gujarat Titans with the new ball, especially, and he was clocking 140 plus as well. So it's not like Ishant Sharma is also. Also, yes, it's past its time, but he can still deliver you an odd match here or there. Plus, we have seen how Bhuvneshwar Kumar has done well in this IPL. So why not take a punt with Ishant Sharma and make use of his experience? Him versus Virat Kohli has always been a good battle to watch out for on the field.
Shamik, one issue that GT, not just GT, Shubman Gill, their captain, has been found out. We touched upon this last night in our post show that how Shubman Gill have been found out against the incoming deliveries, and it's not just subjected to Test cricket. A lot of visuals, if you go to social media, type Shubman Gill, you will see a lot of visuals. Him getting out against Kyle Jamieson, James Anderson against the incoming deliveries. Yesterday again, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and twice on the second time he has done it in this season, getting Shubman Gill with an incoming delivery. It is becoming a recurring theme or a recurring pattern to get out, to dismiss Shubman Gill. And going ahead, Mullapur will host the qualifier too. Conditions are obviously seem friendly there as well. And if your captain, if Shubman Gill doesn't rectify this error, teams will definitely come up with the incoming delivery plan and try to knock him out. And if Shubman Gill is out early, then we have seen that Gujarat Titans batting lineup gets in trouble.
Well, there are a couple of layers to it. It is not that straightforward, and it is sort of not. I mean, I don't think it is sort of right on the money to say he hasn't rectified it. When he became the India captain in Test cricket, he altered his stance, and that, I mean, he from a bit square on, he went to completely side on, and he scored a mountain of runs, almost was on the verge of surpassing Sunil Gavaskar's record in England. And after coming back, that alteration cost him his place in the Indian T20 World Cup squad, because that what worked brilliantly, and that and he did it precisely to counter that his problems as regards the incoming deliveries. But what was a boon in red ball cricket became a bane in white ball cricket, especially in T20Is, where you have to play his shots. And once he was, and it is not very easy. It doesn't happen like you flick a switch and from a side on position you go to once again square on and start playing your shots. It doesn't happen. Mental makeup, everything is there. So Shubman Gill tried, and that's why he insisted the BCCI that we should have a 15-day camp before every major test series. This is because that adjustment is required. You cannot do that when you are playing in Australia and coming back, and 2 days later you are playing Test cricket. You cannot. It cannot happen. So from that point of view, Shubman Gill, once again, because after he lost his place in the Indian T20I team, once again, if you look at at this IPL, he has tweaked his technique, went back to what he used to, the way he used to take his stance in T20I cricket, and he has been scoring runs. But the one downside of this, that with that kind of a stance, you'll always have that weakness against fast incoming deliveries. So it's a catch-22 situation, because what to do after this IPL? There would be the World Test Championship. Once again, we'll have to really go back to the stance. I have my sympathies for Shubman Gill. It is not easy, but and all said and done, yes, he had a bad day at the office yesterday. But if you look at his performance in this IPL, even whatever the weaknesses there have been, he has scored runs. You have to accept that. And there is another game. You judge Shubman Gill after the IPL, because there is another opportunity for him to prove his naysayers wrong.
Bharat, your thoughts on Shubman's vulnerability against the incoming deliveries? Because you do a lot of technical stuff.
Well, I think he's got better at it. See, he has definitely improved. You would say if someone has a problem against the incoming delivery or against the movement, it's most likely because he doesn't really load up his back foot. A lot of people will tell you it's about front foot, but front foot will move towards the pitch of the ball only if your back foot loads up, and then only your front foot will move towards the ball instead of just getting planted way too early. So Shubman Gill definitely has worked on it. It's not like he has not done it. That is why I think he succeeded in England. Yeah, you can counter me by saying that the pitches were flat, but if you notice, he did keep out a lot of those incoming deliveries from Braden Cars, Joe Strong, Jofra Archer, and these are not bad bowlers. He did keep it out, so I think he has improved. So I won't really criticize him in that respect. I think in this IPL itself, there are batters who seem to have worse techniques, who have played for India and are still playing. So I won't really go after Shubman Gill. Yes, I know some fan club might come and say that you are doing PR for Shubman Gill. I'm not, because I'm not some fan of Shubman Gill. But having said that, I think he's improved his game against any Packers, and that is why the number of times he's getting out to such a Delry is now a lot less comparatively. There was a time in 2023, I remember a lot of, even 2021, if you go down to that time, James Anderson, Kyle Jamieson, all these swing bowlers, Chris Wokes were getting Shubman Gill cleaned up almost every single time. Compared to it, if you notice, it has come down. Maybe occasionally Jofra Archer here or there has done it, someone else has done it, but the frequency has come down. That's an indicator that I think he has worked on moving across towards the off stump. That's the best way to negate the early moment. It could be even not just an packer, it could be even the away going delivery, which we see with batters like Sanju Samson, Shreyas Iyer, when they don't cover the off stump, when that off stump is visible, they get caught behind. I think Shubman Gill has improved quite a bit, so I won't really criticize him at this point of time when it comes to his technique. Every batter at some point of time will get out to a good delivery. Even if you are the best batter, you would get out a good delivery, and even someone like Don Bradman in his last test innings got out for zero. So if he can get out for zero in his last test innings, then why can't Shubman Gill get out to a nip packer once in a while?
Definitely. Shubhan, two questions before we move to the next part of the show. First, Nishant Sindhu's place. How would you see? How would you look at it? Because the runs hasn't come. Whatever role he has been given, obviously as a bowling all round, not easy to play at that position. Do you think they can bring in somebody else for, or they should stick with Nishant Sindhu for the qualifier too? Second is, you mentioned Gurnur Brar, you mentioned Ishan Sharma. There is a certain Ashok Sharma as well, who started the tournament but was dropped midway to bring in Prasidh Krishna and then Arshad Khan. Could there be a temptation to bring somebody like Ashok Sharma back in the team given the conditions in Mullapur?
Ashok Sharma, yes, he can be brought in. He was part of the team in the first half of the tournament. So definitely they can, and he can use the long handle as well. So they can definitely go back to someone like Arshad, someone like Ashok, who have played a part in this tournament and are in the rhythm. Sometimes with pace bowlers, you need at least a couple of games to get going with your rhythm, with your momentum, and it's not easy for someone who is certainly playing his first match, that too in a playoff match. So it's not, it wouldn't have been easy for Kulwant Kejrolia yesterday. So I can understand that. But for Gujarat Titans, in regards to bowling, they have many options. They can bring in a spinner as well. Sai Kishore is there. They can go to plethora of pace bowlers, domestic pace bowlers that they have. In regards to Nishant Sindhu, that is where the problem with Gujarat Titans is. They don't have too many batting backups in their system. Again, they will have to go back to Shah Rukh Khan. They will have. I don't know why they have not used Kumar Kushagra. That has been a question in everyone's mind since the start of the tournament. With such a thin batting depth, they should have gone to Kumar Kushagra and persisted with him rather than giving him just one or two odd games. So Kumar Kushagra is definitely an option, but Nishant Sindhu gives you that versatility of using him as a left arm spinner if you want him to bowl. But since he has not bowled a lot, you can definitely go to Kumar Kushagra and try him out. But again, uh, it's a knockout match now for Gujarat Titans. Will they change their batting and bowling lineup? Bowling, yes, they can make one change, but I don't think they will make too many changes to their setup. I think Nishant Sindhu will maintain his place, but yeah, Kulwant Kejroli, I think there's definitely a case for any other bowlers from that great bench strength to be used by the GT management and captain.
Definitely, there are a couple of changes that is expected. How many changes and what changes GT will make, that will be decided on the basis of conditions that is provided in Mullapur. That we will have to see on the match day. But Shamik, coming to the next part of the show, tonight's game, the between SRH and SRH and RR. If you look at both the sides, compare both the sides, SRH looks a more settled unit in regards to their batting options. Even in bowling, they have Pat Cummins, Prafulinge with the new ball. With the older ball, then you have a Ishan Malinga and Sakib Hussain, who's been a revelation for them. During the middle overs and at the back. And only concern they could say that it is the spin department of SRS that hasn't done well because of the inexperience that they have. But overall, SRS looks a more balanced unit. RR do have match winners, but again, the inexperience and inconsistency is obviously there with RR. So who do you think is slightly ahead in respect to this matchup between RR and RR?
I
RR and
I think
SRH.
I think Bible it sunrises because if you look at it, it's a battle between heavy artillery versus heavy artillery. Rajasthan Royals is heavy artillery at the top versus Sunrisers Hyderabad's heavy artillery at the top. So it is, and if you look at both teams are a bit top heavy. Both teams are a bit top heavy. You go down to the bowling unit, you see Rajasthan Royals' bowling is chiefly dependent on Jofra Archer. If Jofra fires, I mean they have a world class bowler who can give you that who can I mean give you that chin music, everything. The way he bowled on a flat pitch at Wankhede last Sunday, brilliant, superb bowling. So Jofra Archer. But if you come back to Sunrisers Hyderabad, you will see uh, someone world class like Pat Cummins and bowling around it. You mentioned Malenga, Hinge. They have the way, and also I think they have better spinners. They have better spinners. If you compare to the two sides, I think they have better spinners. So from that point of view, from that point of because of that bowling, I mean the two batting units cancel each other. Now we come to bowling, and there Sunrisers Hyderabad are a bit ahead. So from that point of view, I think it's Sunrisers Hyderabad. Sunrisers who will start favorites in the eliminator.
Bharat, Shamik said that both batting lineups are equally matched if you look at the personal, but if you look at the performances after Riyan Parag, then there is a problem with the middle or lower middle order. Again, Ravindra Jadeja last match he came to bat at number 9, used as an impact player. What's your analysis of both the batting lineups? There is a certain problem with Rajasthan Royals when it comes to their 5, 6, 7. Not a lot of batting, and obviously Donovan Ferreira has performed, but again Shubham Dubey or Ravindra Jadeja, there has been inconsistent. So after Riyan Parag, do you think it's a problem for Rajasthan Royals if their top order gets rattled early?
See, Rajasthan Royals, I think, depend more on individual brilliance. I'm not saying that don't have good players, but they depend more on individual brilliance, be it in the batting department, be it in the bowling department. In the batting department, obviously, it is more about Vaibhav Suryavanshi because even Yashasvi Jaiswal, after a period of time, has had a few poor scores, poor run of scores, 3, 4 poor run of scores. So it's more about Vaibhav Suryavanshi. If he really gets going, then I think it really helps. Even SSV Jaiswal or someone like Jurel, even slightly down the order, Parag, and then someone like Donovan Ferreira can come in and chip in with those 30 quick fire 30s or 40s. And actually, in the last game, they were kind of saved by none other than Jofra Archer with the bat in hand. It was his 32 or whatever it is of 15 balls that really took Rajasthan Royals to a match winning total. So they tend to depend on individual brilliance. That's, I think, their key strength. That is where it's also one of their weaknesses, even in the terms of their bowling department. If Jofra Archer strikes up front, they suddenly look like a different side. Obviously, Andrew Berger picked a couple of wickets in the last game, which which kind of would have pleased the Rajasthan Royals camp because if he's striking up front, then it helps someone like Jofra Archer. But it's still that they depend more on individual brilliance, whereas SRH I think is more of an all-round side in terms of their bowling, in terms of their batting department. Even someone like Smaran coming in number 7 is I think is a very good player of spin. So Nitesh Reddy himself is a fine player of spin, although they may not have been they may not have chipped in with huge scores, but still you can count on these players. So I think SRH have a little more depth in terms of their batting lineup as well as in terms of their pace attack. Just that the only thing I would say about SRH bowling lineup is the power play overs, leaving those flashes of brilliance, the one or two games, Praful Hinje, maybe in another couple of games, someone else. I think the power play overs with the bowling attack, some occasionally they have struggled to take wickets. Other than that, I think it's a very all-round side. It's just that they had to qualify as a third place side because this side looks like has it in it to go all the way, not just being the eliminator. But having said that, Rajasthan Royals obviously is still a very dangerous outfit in the sense that they depend on individual brilliance, and if these two three players come good, they can go on to defeat any side in this tournament, including RCB or Gujarat Titans. That's on that given day. I'm not saying it's a very consistent side, but on a given day they can defeat anyone with their individual brilliance.
Shamik, what is going wrong with Yashasvi Jaiswal? As Bharat also mentioned, his first half he was scoring a lot of runs, giving those starts, putting in match-winning performances. But if you look at his second half, he's struggling for runs. At times, it feels like he's trying too many things, trying too hard to get his runs inside the power play. What exactly do you think is going wrong with Yashasvi Jaiswal? Why is he not been able to convert those starts into beginnings? Given that he is a senior player in this inexperienced young team of Rajasthan Royals.
Vaibhav, this is sort of news to me because I watched him bat against Rajasthan Royals, and he was the senior partner
Against Mumbai
in that
Indians, Wankhede.
against Mumbai Indians at Wankhede, and the way he has been batting, up front, brilliant. He scored 30 odds. T20 cricket is about scoring 30 odds or 40 odds. It's not about scoring hundreds. So it is not Test cricket. So Jasasi Jaiswal is batting badly is sort of news to me. But Jasasi Jaiswal, I saw him at the nets also, and he looked to be in fantastic touch. So you can get out when you play high risk cricket. When T20 in T20s you play high risk cricket and you can get out. If you look at Rajat Patida played a blinder last night, right? But if one of those catches were taken, that promise would have been nipped in the bud. So you need a bit of luck also. But all said and done, Jasasi Jaiswal, I don't think he is in bad touch. He has been scoring decent runs, 30s and 40s, and he is striking the ball very well. What more do you need? Simple as that.
What Rajasthan Royals would be hoping from their star opener is big runs, because in big matches you need your big players to perform, and for in the last few matches, 4 5 matches, you will see Yashasvi Jaiswal not being able to convert those starts, because as I said, Rajasthan problems lies after Riyan Parag. After fourth, they don't have much batting, and that's where the problem lies. So they rely heavily on Yashasvi Jaiswal, Riyan Parag, Vaibhav Suryavanshi to score bulk of runs, and also Dhruv Jurel, who's been scoring consistently. But Bharat, coming to the spin attack of both the teams, both spin attacks are,
But,
yeah,
Vaibhav, I will take your leave because I'll have to make a phone call for
yeah,
points
yeah,
to
no
be.
worries. Yeah, yes, no worries.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you for joining.
Thank you.